everlasting cheerfulness. That's homesickness for you.
"He was found by a servant," she said. "That'd be a footman or a page boy taking him his coffee. Imagine, he put down the tray, all beautiful silver and jewels, and say, 'Good morning, sire,' and ba-boom, the king's dead."
Gail Jackson was parked waiting for us.
"Y'all want to come back to my place?" she said. "Get a coffee or something?"
Time hung heavy for Gail, poor kid, stuck out in a rennel, waiting for her darling Okie to come home. Lois said, "Sure. You won't mind if I bring along something, give it a little lift?" She had a liquor bag hanging from the back of Sandy's stroller. Gail's face lit up. I guess there always was that weakness in her. Betty said,
"Honey, did you hear about the king?"
"He's dead," Lo chipped in. "Ba-boom."
"Course," Betty said. It had to be a servant found him, not the queen. They'd have separate bedrooms. Kings and queens always do." "Geez," Gail said. "How come?" "Why, because they have such palatial homes, of course."
We relied on Betty for that kind of inside information.
"They have separate closets, separate everything."
Sounded fine to me.
"And poor Princess Elizabeth is thousands of miles away in Africa, having the news broke to her by her courtiers. She's just gonna have to pack her bags and fly right back here and get coronated."
She leaned down to rub Sandy's frozen little cheeks.
"Hi, sweetie pie. Have I been ignoring you today? My, you're so cold. Lois, is this child warm enough?"
Sandy gave Betty a big smile.
"Told," she said. "Digger's ass."
So we all headed down to Gail's place, and Audrey came in from next door for coffee and a little something from Lois's bottle, just to warm us through and wish the old king Godspeed. Even Betty came along, and that didn't happen too often, on account of Ed keeping her on a short tether. Betty was allowed to go any place she liked, as long as it was the PX, the chapel, or the school gate.
"I'm just fine," she always said. "If Ed Gillis is happy, Betty Gillis is happy. Anyways, I don't have time for gallivanting. My babies keep me busy, caring for my home and my babies."
Her babies were Deanna and Sherry, but she included Ed, too, for some reason we could never fathom. So that made 3 whining brats, leaving their skivvies for her to pick up and generally giving her the runaround. Gail and Audrey were off base, on account of they didn't have kids. The rest of us were in quarters. They weren't much more than cabins with flat asphalt roofs, but at least we had each other. At least inside that perimeter fence, we were one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Audrey didn't seem to mind being outside. She was of a pioneering disposition. They could have put her in a mule wagon, and she'd have made the best of things. When in Rome, she always said. Well, when in Rome, maybe, but not when you've been posted to the asshole of the universe.
Lois said, "Aud, you're wasted here. Can't they send you someplace you'd have to live in a pup tent? I may just have a word to the CO's wife. See if they got any mutinies need putting down, any prairie fires need extinguishing."
The Reynolds were just outside Drampton, in a place called Smeeth. It wasn't a town. Just a couple of places growing sugar beet and a pumping station, supposed to keep the river moving along. It was called the Drain, and it ran higher in the roadway, which didn't seem natural to me. I hoped and prayed that pumping station never broke down. Been me quartered there, I'd never have dared turn my back on it. I wouldn't have slept nights for fear of waking up drowned. Where they were looked like one house, but it was 2, back to back, holding each other up, but only just. Every house out there had that look about it, sagging in the middle, crouched down, like the sky was too much for it. They had a whole lot of sky in Norfolk, England. Audrey and Lance were in one side of this broke-back house. Gail and Okie were in the other, and oh, how Gail longed for a baby. A baby, and quarters, with steam heating and a frigid air. "Next year," Okie said. "Next year." They seemed like a pair of skinny kids playing house. Her with her ponytail and her bobby socks. Him with his crew cut. Gail put on the coffee and Audrey fetched a kitchen stool from her place, Gail and Okie not having much in the way of seating.